Many people thought that the fact that there's no chain on their hands and there's no chain on their legs, they are not slave. That the era of slave has passed. Nobody should be telling them about slave. Listen, let me tell you. First of all, this year is just coming to an end this month, December 2023. And maybe you are by any chance or out of ignorance, you enslave yourself, knowingly to you that you are just a slave. Or you thought that you have one degree or the other, you are no longer a slave to any. It means you are an educated slave, as it is made. Yeah, it means when you go to school, you are still under one system that I'm about to describe. That if you are in any way in this category, it means even regardless of your degrees, you are seen like an educated slave, if you don't know. So this year 2023, if you by any means, any chance, be operating in this category, it is your right. It is the will of God. It is the plan of God for you to break out of that slavery, to wear yourself out of slavery, and to enter into a freeborn. Yes, this 2024 that is coming, there's not all there's. If it is only that you can be able to achieve for yourself, 2024 for enable you to be freeborn, to take this. Let me explain anyway. Maybe you might not know where I'm coming from. Let's look at what is a slave. A slave is someone who is being forced to do what he does not actually or really wants to do. It's not in your mind. You remember, I want to make us to understand that our conscience is the voice of the spirits of God. Our conscience is the voice. So in as much that your spirit, your conscience will be telling you that no, you wouldn't have been like this. You wouldn't, but because you don't have say, because you are a slave to that person, so you have no choice. You'll be forced, manipulated in any way, deceived by any way. So you cannot really walk out of that foolish or ungodly instruction or senseless instruction. So you keep obeying such instruction. Okay. A slave, I take it again. A slave is someone who is being forced to do. I put it again. Who is being manipulated or forced or deceived to do what him or her does not really or want to do. That is a slave. You don't want to do it, but you find yourself doing it. It means you are a slave. It is not good to be a slave at all. That is why I'm talking. A slave is constantly in the bondage of his master or of mistress. A slave is constantly in the bondage. You don't know how to. You can't say no. You can't leave. You can't stay on your own. You can't. You just. That is a slave. A slave. You are a slave. You can't say no. You can't make a suggestion. You can't bring your own freely express yourself without being attacked or being insulted, being bullied. It means you are a slave. Even though you air your opinion, if that person is not a slave master or a slave mistress, it will correct you on a polite way. But a slave master cannot correct you on a polite way. It will talk you down, bully you, talk you out of yourself, disgrace you, insult, abuse you in all manners and all of that. So a slave is a property of another person. It means you belong to that person. You thought that you own yourself. No, you belong to that person. You are taking that senseless and foolish instruction from, to carry out instruction from, that ungodly instruction, assignments that later end in disaster, that later end in pain, end people in pain, end people in sorrow, that later end people learn to bye. You are a slave to that person. You are carrying out his or her instruction that led you to take action that takes people's life, led you to take action, that led you to do something to take action that attract plight to people, hurt people. It means you are a slave. A slave is a property of another person. You are a property to that person you are taking, that forcing you to take that instruction. So you should know now. If you have been operating in this kind of scenario, if you have been operating like that, on this year 2023, or since for long period of time, another year is still coming. Change your life. God have a plan for you, which I would still be talking about if time permits me. A slave is a property of another person. A slave can only do the wish of his master or mistress, of madam. He cannot ask question. He cannot ask his slave master question. He cannot ask his slave mistress question. He cannot question anything. He don't have choice. He don't have opinion. He cannot question anything. That is a slave. Is any system entangling you on this area that is not making you to question what they are doing? It's not permitting you to ask questions. It's not permitting you to question what they are doing. It means you are a slave. It means you are a slave. Retikuma, Retituma. He make a quote. He said, "Now I have been free." It was a slave master. It was a slave that have been free, that are now becoming a freeborn. So it turned, just as I was being hurt in religion and being bullied and abused and all sorts of nasty things went on with me, insult, abuse, and all of that went on with me while I was still practicing religion. Then I have not embraced the kingdom of God, acknowledge the kingdom of God that I've been in, that I enter. When I'm talking out of experience. So now I cannot say I am healed, I'm free. I cannot be able to say that people are not free and healed. That is why I'm bringing what I'm bringing to you daily. So Lerti Tumba, she said that she have been free. He said, "Now I am free." That is how she meant. He said, "Now I am free." Can you say, "I am free"? From where are you? I know what dreadful condition. I know what a dreadful condition slavery is. Seeing hundreds of escaped slaves, hundreds of escaped slaves, but I never saw one who willing to go back. Slavery those days are millions of slaves and all of that. He has saw that the one that have been free, no one will enjoy to go back because it's a horrible situation. It's a horrible situation. But here the Lord is saying that He knows the plan He has for you. If this 2024 is coming, as you are going to take decision that you will refuse, you are no longer a slave. God did not restore you from slavery, from darkness into slavery. No, He brought you out of darkness into His marvelous light. You are coming from slavery into the kingdom to become a king, to become prince, to become a royal prince or a peculiar person. A peculiar person, a royal prince. Oh, that is who you are. When you're not becoming a Christian, you now give your life to Christ. It means You are a royal priesthood, a peculiar, a holy person. The Spirit of the Lord is what give you all those merits that lives inside of you. So make a very good decision this year.